Hello and welcome to this channel which is called English Decoded. Today I'll be discussing the sentence, the phrase and the clause. So let's start the video. When we make a sentence, A, we name some person or thing, and B, we say something about that person or thing. A is called subject, B is called predicate. When we make a sentence, what is a sentence? Sentence is the building block of composition. What is composition? Composition is either an essay, a story, a novel, a news article, or something like that. So the building block of composition is a sentence. So what is a sentence? A sentence is the combination of two things. First, we mention something or some place or somebody. We mention a person or a thing or a place. And then, second thing, we say something about that thing, that place or that person. The combination of these two things is called a sentence. We name some person or thing, that is the subject. You mention something, some place or some body, that is the subject. And then we say something about that person, that place or that thing. That is the predicate. So what is a subject? The part which names the person or thing we are speaking about is called the subject of a sentence. As I mentioned earlier, that sentence is the combination of two things. We mention something, some place or some person. That is the subject. The part which names the person or thing we are speaking about is called the subject of the sentence. That part of the sentence in which we are mentioning a place, a person, or a thing, that is called a subject. First, we mention something and then we give information about that something. For example, the boy stood on the burning deck. In this sentence, the boy is the subject because the boy is that somebody that we mentioned at the start of a sentence. Second, London is the capital of England. Similarly, London is the subject of this sentence because first we mentioned London and then afterwards we are going to give some information about this London, this subject. What is a predicate? The part which tells something about the subject, this is called the predicate of the sentence. That part of a sentence in which some information has been given, has been shared about the subject, that is the predicate. For example, the beautiful rainbow faded away. In this sentence, the beautiful rainbow is the subject. We have mentioned something, now we are going to give some information about this subject. And that information is faded away. Faded away in this sentence is the predicate because it is the information related to the subject mentioned earlier. Second, the early bird catches the worm. In this sentence, the early bird is the subject because we have just mentioned something and now we are going to give you information about this something. And that information is in the form of predicate. And what is the predicate in this sentence? Catches the worm. This phrase, catches the worm, is the predicate of the subject, the early bird. What is a clause? And what is a phrase? Let's discuss these two concepts, these two ideas in detail. There are groups of words that make up a sentence. They are called clauses. As we mentioned earlier, that sentence is that group of words that makes sense. It means that not all groups of words are sentences. A sentence is a group of words, but all groups of words are not sentences. Some of them are clauses and others are phrases. What is a clause and what is a phrase? There are groups of words that make up a sentence. They are called clauses. Clauses are sentences or they combine together to form sentences. But there are other groups of words which do not make up a sentence. They are called phrases. let's discuss clauses and phrases in detail. What is a phrase? Such a group of words which makes sense but not complete sense is called a phrase. A phrase is a group of words that makes sense but not complete sense. It does not give you the whole information. That group of words is called a phrase. As we mentioned earlier, that sentence is a group of words that makes complete sense. On the contrary, a phrase is a group of words that does not make complete sense. For example, the sun rises in the east. In this sentence, in the east is a group of words and it's a phrase, but it does not give complete message. It does not make complete sense. Example number 2, it was a sunset of great beauty. In this sentence, the phrase of great beauty is a phrase and is not a sentence and is not a clause because it does not give complete sense. So a phrase is a group of words that makes some sense but not complete sense. For example, in the east or of great beauty. These are phrases. What is a clause? Such a group of words which forms part of a sentence and contains a subject and a predicate is called a clause. A clause is such a group of words that makes sense because it has its own subject and its own predicate. For example, we cannot start while it is raining. In this sentence, while it is raining is a clause. It's not a phrase because it has its own subject, it, and it has its own predicate. Is raining. It is raining makes complete sense on its own, despite being a portion of a longer sentence. Example number 2, I think that you have made a mistake. The group of words that you have made a mistake is a clause because it has its own subject and its own predicate. And it makes complete sense on its own and it is a part of a longer sentence. That's all for today.